Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to a new type of video. Today we are going to be doing an Enstars bracket tournament. Now the way this is going to work, these are all the round zeros, which just means that these are not going to go in the fit. So the way this is going to work, the first tournament that I'm going to be doing is going to be for English server only. I'm going to do a second one that includes JP songs, and then the third one's going to include songs that are technically unreleased as well. And what I mean by unreleased are songs that don't have a beat map. So like Nijiro no Seasons, Diamond Summer, Tryst of Stars, that kind of thing. And at the time of release, Knights the Phantom Thief is the newest single exclamation point era song that has been re-released into the JP server. Whereas in the English server, I believe the newest single exclamation point song that was released is Genuine... No, was Death Game Holic? Yeah, Death Game Holic was single exclamation point. So yeah. And I don't know when Na 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 Summer Night Beat, but that's also not single exclamation point. That's music era. So Death Game Holic at the time of this video is going to be the newest released song in the EN server. Now this video, I currently have all the round 1 and round 0 standings for Star Pro and Cause Pro. I do not have the other ones, so I still have all these songs to officially finish in terms of putting them on there. But I've also sort of not ran out of room, but made it to where it's a lot more difficult to actually make it go up there without actually kind of messing everything up. I don't know why this is there. Anyway, so let's start off by saying that this is completely opinion-based between me and a few of my friends. You can feel free to disagree or make your own charts in the comments on what you would have done different for this tournament. But today I'm going to cover... I don't know who I'm going to cover exactly. We'll see how long this is going to get, but I'm going to try to cover all of Star Pro today. I was going to do a series where I rank all the OnStar songs, but that got extremely delayed, so I just plan on making that much later down the line. Because I made that video, like, at least a few weeks ago, but a bunch of stuff came up, and I just wanted to get a video out, so I'm doing this one instead. I know that doesn't really make sense if I already had the video recorded, but in terms of editing, that's how this is going to go, since that video is going to require a lot of editing, whereas this one is not. And so, since I don't have a lot of time to do stuff, and neither does my editor, at least as of now, unfortunately, I won't be able to do a video that's as big of a project as that one, so I am going to stick more with this one. So with that being said, I have a few sheets over here that says the deciding results. That's the 2-inch one. What's this one? I think this one's... Yeah, I see the Tempest Knight, so this is the one with Fine on it. So, let's start off with this one. So, the contenders for... Actually, we're going to start off with Trickstar, because that's how it's listed on here. So, for round 1, our current contestants for Star Pro are Rebellion Star, Cherry Happy Stream, Heartbeater, Breakthrough, Welcome to the Trickstar Night, Infinite Star, Only Your Stars, First Sing Along, Big Bang Reflection, Finder Girl, Daydream X Reality, and why is Romantic X Day up here? You do not belong up there. Romantic X Day is not a part of this, so I did not mean to add that up here. Anyway, so that are all of the Trickstar contenders. So the way this is going to work is it's going to depend on the amount of songs that the unit has. So since Trickstar has a decent amount more songs, it seems like, even though now that I'm looking back, it seems like Trickstar and Fine have about even amount of songs. I did give Trickstar allowance to have one more song, so Trickstar is going to have 8 songs moving up to round 2, whereas Fine is only going to have 7. By the end, and when we reach round 3, everything is only going to have 5 songs, so it's going to be even by then. So, Trickstar is going down to 8 songs, and I'm going to say one contestant at a time. So, I'm going to go ahead and say the first one moving up to round 2 is going to be Finder Girl. This is just a personal favorite of mine, and so we made it to where we can vote for a 1, a 2, or a 3. Now, a 3 means we really like the song, and it counts for more points. But we can only use 1 or 2 3s per unit, depending on how many songs they have. If they have more than 10 songs, we can use 2 3s. Where, in this case, Trickstar has exactly, I believe, 11 songs on this list. Let me check real quick. Yeah, 11 songs on the contender list. So, we got to have 2 threes, and these are my 2 threes that were selected, which also one of these, which is the other one that I'm about to list, was another common 3 that was listed, and this one is Daydream X Reality. So, I, for some reason, thought I didn't see that on the list for a second, but it's right there. I was like, wait a second, I thought that was like one of the most voted songs. Anyway, we're now going down back in order in terms of listed votes. So next up is Infinite Star. And then just an OG classic, we have Rebellion Star. Now, in terms of OGs, the only other... Never mind, we still have more OGs on here. I take it back. But we do only have one more music song left on here, which is going to be Big Bang Reflection. That's the only other music song regardless. And then we also have Breakthrough. And then here are our last 2. We have Cherry Happy Stream and Only Your Stars. Only Your Stars did come in last in terms of vote placements. So it's probably going to be, I'm going to have a fair warning, it's probably going to be dropped next round, but we'll just have to see. And also, I'm going to point this out and say that, basically the way this is working is that every single time someone votes for a song, it increases by 1 point. So if someone votes as a 3, that counts as 3 voting points. So essentially, Finder Girl got 3 vote points just from me. So it's like 3 people voted for Finder Girl whenever I did my 3 vote. And I also did Daydream X Reality. Most people, or at least, well, I guess I say most people, but I only questioned 3 people. All 3 people chose Daydream X Reality as their song. One of them chose Only Your Stars of the 3, yet it still came out in last place. And then I think the other one did Infinite Star. I'm probably wrong about that. I don't know. One of them did Breakthrough. It was Breakthrough. That's what it was. So, but everyone did Daydream X Reality. I did Finder Girl. Finder Girl is my favorite Trickstar song, if you don't know by now. And also, when I list these songs, even though Finder Girl was the... Well, Daydream X Reality was the most voted. Finder Girl is my favorite Trickstar song. Only Your Stars is probably my least, even though it's still an OG. I am going to say that these are not listed in most to least order. These are just listed in the order that I wrote them down. Sometimes I put them in chronological order of how they are released in-game, or at least how they are listed in-game. Like, I'll sometimes put, like, for example, I'll put Miracle Dream Traveler before Koi wa Primavera, even though Koi wa Primavera technically came out beforehand, just because it's listed under that. Like, I'll put all the single exclamation point songs beforehand, and then all the music. So, like, for example, here, it would be A Lot of Nice, and, well, these are actually all listed in the, or actually, no, Holy Angels Carol should be back here. I don't know what I'm thinking. Sometimes I'll put the, like, Miracle Dream Traveler. Sometimes I feel like I'd put the song like this before or after something like Hajimari no Fantasia, because, and what I mean by this kind of song is, like, whenever they the set of single exclamation point songs that they released after the anime ending. So, like, Sugar Spice Hoteishiki, Miracle Dream Traveler, Cherry Happy Stream, that kind of thing. And they're also, I'm very happy that they're releasing another single exclamation point series from what I see. I was so happy whenever I saw Rainbow Circus got an MV, not just because of the song itself, but because of the actual series that it's going to be a part of. And I know Rainbow Circus is an extremely underrated and hated Fine song, but I personally like it. And so my final thoughts on Trickstar is that some of their songs have a very similar tempo in the way they actually work with their songs, sort of the genre that they use, but honestly, I find their music songs to be very good because they sort of change it up, and that's kind of what I like about this, is whenever they take a unit that's supposed to do this kind of music and then have them do a different kind of music. Even though Finder Girl could be considered to fit the Trickstar genre, I personally think it's great. And Daydream X Reality completely shifts the way they work, and I feel like it fits Makoto greatly. Much more than What You Gonna Do probably does. even though I've only heard the song like once. And so that are my final thoughts on Trickstar. So next up we will move with Fine. So there are 7 songs that are going to move up for Fine. And I'm going to say one of them is Owaranai Symphonia. And I just now realized this. Why does this say Omaranai Symphonia? What? I just now realized that. What is Omaranai Symphonia? That's not... okay. Anyway. So this next one on the contenders list is by far the most loved Fine song from what I have seen. It is extremely... I mean, people say it's overrated, but personally, I love it. Not as much as people say they do, but I personally love it. This next contender, as you may have been able to guess, is, Tempest Night the... the Tempest Night. Why is it listed like that? Okay, this next contender, this is a personal standpoint. I used to not like this song whatsoever, for some reason. And then I started listening to it, and whenever I actually learned the rhythm for it, I started to really like the way the verses were laid out, and the actual duet symphony with this. I really like the way they've spaced out their duets, and actually just the way their vocals work in this song. This next song on the list, Hajimari no Fantasia. Alright, let's see. This next song used to be a very similar situation to Hajimari no Fantasia, where I didn't really... Like, I never really listened to it, or really cared enough about it to pay attention to the way the vocals work. But once I did, I really liked the way the keys especially work in this song, and the strings, and just the way the vocals, especially during the chorus and the second half of the bridge. And so, this song goes to Habataki no Fortissimo. This next song, coming out much later, it's one of the last single exclamation point Live Fest songs that released before the anime endings were here. That might already give it away, but whatever. So, for this song, it was one of the most loved Fine songs, by me at least. The second I heard this song, I immediately loved it so much. I just like how it's so upbeat, but the bridge, I'm telling you, the bridge is so good, because it slows down the song completely, and then Eiichi pulls it with that one word that throws in everything that you could have ever had, and just goes full swing into the next chorus. You might have been able to guess what it is. Neo Sanctuary. Alright, for our second to last Fine song, we have another music era song that is... I feel like most people wouldn't agree with these choices, but sometimes people will. Like, this is probably the second most liked music song, from what I've heard at least, other than The Tempest Night, because that one takes the cake completely with everyone's opinion. Personally, I like this one, like, a little bit better than The Tempest Night, I feel like. I'm not sure, honestly. But it seems like me and the other 2 people that I asked definitely went with this song. This song was one of my favorite Fine songs, or if not my favorite Fine song, for a while. Now, Fine never really grew too much on me as a whole group, just because their style doesn't extremely fit with me, I guess. But this song I'm gonna have to give to the Fine Halloween song of 2024, at least for the EN server, because this is what this tournament is. Ghostic Treathouse. And for our final, I just now realized Neverending Stage is up here. Why are you here? Why is Neverending Stage here? Get back down here. Where do you belong? You belong, like, right... I don't know, like, right here or something. You do not belong here. Anyway. So... I feel like this song was... actually comes from my favorite event, like, whenever I first started playing this game. I first started playing this game around... I think the first unit event that I ever played was Gekko Kitan. At least the song, I don't remember what the actual event was called, but that's the song. The Akatsuki Halloween event for Gekko Kitan. But this was the first tour event that I actually had. That kind of gives it away if you know the ordering of events, but this was the first tour event I ever did, and I absolutely loved it, not only because of just the way it plays into the story, as well as the reference to how the finale of the anime went, but just because I really like the song. Although its Eden counterpart is better in my opinion, I still really like this song, so this final Fine song is gonna go to Feathers of Arc. Alright, that is it for Fine. So now, we're gonna actually do RYUSEITAI. We're gonna go for RYUSEITAI. That may be it. We'll see. I may just do another video back-to-back on this that will include Alkaloid as well, and maybe Eden as well. But I'm definitely gonna do RYUSEITAI since this video has only been going on for like 16 minutes now. So, RYUSEITAI. I feel like a lot of you are about to hate me for what I'm about to do. Because I have never really been a huge RYUSEITAI fan, and so I will say late game, there's probably not going to be a lot of RYUSEITAI songs, but I will say the one song for RYUSEITAI producers, that I feel like a lot of them just completely overbear on everything. I'm going to say, if you're one of those people, you're going to be good, because this song I'm referring to, if you know what song it is, great. But if you don't, you'll just have to find out. But this song is going to make it up the next round. So be happy. Anyway, I will say in my ranking videos for Enstars, I did not put RYUSEITAI very high. Just because I feel like their music doesn't really exactly fit the thing that I'm going with. Whereas, for me, I just actually learned Relax Paradise and Bokuran no Stella, like, literally this week. So, I will say I definitely have started to grow on those, especially Bokuran no Stella. I just really like the way that it fits with Kanata, honestly, but we'll get more on that in the JP tournament video, whenever we actually get to talk about that, because it's not released on EN yet. And at the time, Relax Paradise is the newest song for the music era, at least, for the unit events, because tomorrow, the Nikki and Nazuna tour event is going to start, which is not a climax event, or nor will it release a song, but I am excited for Na 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 Summer Night Beat after that, which is going to be really cool. I'm curious to see how the campaign plays out, since I was not here on the JP server for when the campaigns did come out. I was not early enough. Anyway, so let's talk about RYUSEITAI. The first song I'm going to go ahead and say is Growing Starry Days, if I can find it right here. The first song goes to Growing Starry Days. And the reason for this is whenever it came out, I just liked that it was a slower RYUSEITAI song, because I feel like RYUSEITAI doesn't really do that, like, whatsoever. Because if you look at all of these songs, the Unrivaled Meteor Ranger, Ryusei Hanabi, Supernova Revolustar, Unlimited Power, Meteor Scramble RYUSEITAI, and Suisei Halation, none of those are slow whatsoever. Even other ones, like, I mean, Neketsu Ryusei Ninpocho kind of has a bit of a slower bridge, but it's still at a faster tempo, so it's not actually slow. Colors Arise kind of has a tempo change in the bridge as well. Like an actual tempo change. It's not just about feeling slow, but it does make the tempo change to go slower. Which I'm still not exactly considering that slow, because the energy was still very high up. Same with Relax Paradise. It was a bit slower, but the energy was still very high. So, something like Growing Starry Days just feels really different for RYUSEITAI, even though the lyrics were still similar, where they're like the encouraging kids band who likes to make everything happy and saving the world and stuff like that. I just personally like the way that they did this, because just the way that it doesn't really feel like a normal RYUSEITAI rhythm. For this next song on the list, this is the song I'm referring to that every single RYUSEITAI P that I know overbears this song completely. Not overrates it, because I agree, it's a very good song, but overbears it. Like, this is their favorite song, or at least close to their favorite song in the game. If you're a RYUSEITAI P who doesn't agree with this, just let me know in the comments, but I'm only speaking from everyone that I know personally. And if you couldn't already guess what this is, I'm referring to Ryusei Hanabi. This next star on the list, the next star. The next song on this list, I will say, I'm sure a good amount of RYUSEITAI Ps can agree with me on this one. But a good amount of non-RYUSEITAI Ps don't really like this song that much. And like I said, I'm going off of experience from what I've seen. I may be completely off on everyone else. This is just my friends, personally. So please let me know in the comments if any of the RYUSEITAI Ps completely disagree with what I'm saying. Please let me know. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on this, and any of this video in general, honestly. So, for this next one, the OG Tenkimoteki Meteor Rangers. And I just realized this is listed in English and not in Japanese, and there are songs that are listed in Japanese, so I guess I don't get that. Were any of the songs we've done so far fall under that similar situation? Not that I see. Every other song that I see fits under the Japanese, translation, or I guess the original translation. Because the Unrivaled Meteor Ranger in-game has a Japanese title, so I don't get that, honestly. I don't know. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. So, next up, this song, whenever it released to come to music, I personally thought it was really cool. I didn't really like the song at first, but now I do. I was not here for this originally. This was the only RYUSEITAI song that I didn't get, and if you remember what I said from earlier, you may be able to guess what song this is. But I think it fits RYUSEITAI really well. This one and another one that has made it to the next round as well, that's also for music, I feel like fit RYUSEITAI, I'm gonna say perfectly, honestly, just the way they do their stuff. And this goes from two characters who are very shipped together, which I can't say I disagree. I feel like they could go well together, but at the same time, I don't really ship characters unless I feel like they have good chemistry together. Like, technically, I don't think HEX Wataru is canon, but if you have eyes, you can see that it's very hinted at. So that's one of the few characters that I actually ship. I ship characters who I feel could definitely be canon, in my opinion, which is kind of, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of normal in terms of people who don't really ship characters at all. But yeah, these two characters have been shipped at least a lot from what I've seen. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say what this one is. This is Suisei Halation. And just by seeing that's Chiaki, you may be able to guess what the other one I'm talking about is, but that'll come in a couple of songs. This next one is not the character I'm referring to, but this is a song that I really like, especially for the instrumental. The instrumental I almost love more than the song itself, honestly. Especially whenever I saw it come out on the event page and I saw the preview for the instrumental, I just loved it so much. Later on, whenever I heard this song, I also fell in love with this song. And the bridge, I will say for some reason, always makes me think of Mitsuru, because in the way that I had Mitsuru, it's not because of the bridge itself. It's just because whenever I started this game, this song was close. Like, this was the third song that released in terms of me playing this game. And so the reason I think of Mitsuru every time I hear the bridge is because there's a close-up of Mitsuru in my original party that I had. My original party, I think, was Subaru, Tomoya, Mitsuru, I want to say Itsuki, and I don't remember who the fifth person was. But I don't remember. I know for sure the first three. I'm pretty sure one of them was Itsuki, but I could be wrong. Anyway. Or maybe, I think actually Eichi. I feel like Eichi was one of them. But anyway. Yeah, the reason I feel like I think of Mitsuru is because there's a close-up of Mitsuru whenever I use my OG party during this song whenever it came out. And so I saw it a lot until I actually started building a party and not just using, like, the only 5 stars that I had in-game. And so, as you may have been able to guess from the first half of my rambling, Nekketsu Ryusei Ninpocho. Now, this is the other character that I was referring to that gets shipped a lot with Chiaki, and I'm gonna say this song is the other song that feels a lot like RYUSEITAI. I have not read the story for this song yet. This is actually the next story that I would read, because recently I finished reading the story for Haranohi Sugar Wave, and so, Colors Arise. I know I didn't really say much about that, but I already mentioned a lot about the tempo change and why I like it a little bit previously. And for our final song, it is a new song, the newest RYUSEITAI song, at least of now, Relax Paradise. And I know I didn't say about that one a lot as well, but I did kind of go over a brief RYUSEITAI thing in the intro for the RYUSEITAI group. But with that being said, I'm going to end the video here, and I would like to thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. In the next episode, I'm going to be doing Alkaloid, Eden, and a bonus section involving all of the, well, not all of them, but a good amount of the past units. So the songs that will make it for those are Eccentric Party Night, Genuine Revelation, Twilight Pentagram, Dawning Angels, Rock Roar, Death Game Holic, Crush of Judgment, and Will Be Nights. But with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. I will see you guys next time for another episode of Enstars Ranking Tournament, whatever you want to call this. Bye-bye.